Alright, so now I've picked out a problem that involves the quadratic formula in equilibrium. We are given carbon monoxide and chlorine to react until it gets to equilibrium. The K value here is 255 at 1000. We have our reactant concentrations of 0.15 and 0.175. And now we have to figure out the equilibrium concentrations. I also drew out the K expression on the top there, products of reactants raised to the coefficients. Since all the coefficients are 1 and the change, you're going to get minus x for reactants and plus x for the product. And so that means at equilibrium you'll get just x, you'll get 0.175 minus x and 0.150 minus x. So plugging this in, you plug in your K value just like normal, and then that is going to be equal to x on the top, and then you get 0.15 minus x and 0.175, minus x also. So as you notice, this isn't a perfect square. You don't have a square on top and on bottom, so you can't just take the square root like we did last time. So what I did next is I went ahead and FOILed the bottom of that fraction right there. And this is what I get. You have your 255 is equal to x on top, but then you do the fronts, then you do like that, and then you'll do these and like that. So when you work that out, you're going to end up with 0.02625 minus 0.15x minus 0.175x plus x squared, which is a mess. So what you want to do is combine these two because they're like terms. And then we also want to try to move this whole thing over to this side. So we multiply that whole thing by 255. When you do that, I'm also going to move the x squared to the front, and then put the x's in the middle, and so on and so forth. So you should get 255 x squared minus 82.875x plus 6.69375 is equal to x. Now, the reason why I'm going so far out on the decimals, I just keep them that way until we're done, and then I will round to our 3 sig figs. But until you finish the problem, I typically hold on to the numbers. In some cases, a little bit could make a big difference. Now you want to get this equal to 0, so move x over to that side, and you will end up with, well, I'm going to actually write it up top. It's going to be 255x squared minus 83.875x, 83 because we added x, and then plus 6.69375, and that's all equal to 0. So with the quadratic formula, I wrote that down here. This is A, this is B, and this is C. So when you set up the quadratic formula, you're going to get x is equal to negative b, so that means it's going to be a positive 83.875 plus or minus the square root, it's going to go out for a ways, of your negative 83.875 squared minus 4 times 255 times 6.69375, just like that. And then on the bottom, 255, which is A, times 2 is 510. When you work all of that out and simplify it up, it should end up being equal to 83.875 plus or minus 14.4. That's what you should get for the whole thing beneath the radical, and then 510 on the bottom. So you'll get two x answers, one for this operation, the addition operation, one for the subtraction operation, and you'll get two x values. The first one being 0.1927, and the second one being 0.1362. Now, how do we know which one's right? Well, if you plug in the 0.1927, for both of these, you do 0.15 and 0.175 minus that, you're going to get negative concentrations, and that's impossible. So that means that's out. All out. And then, let's just go ahead and take this to 3 sig figs. You get 0.136. Plug it in, back up here, and you should get 0.15 minus 0.136 is equal to 0.0140, and then 0.175 minus 0.136 is 0.0390. Sorry about that, 4. Remember, you got to write molarity, and then of course you got 0.136 molar there. So those are your answers. Sorry for my handwriting. Hopefully I didn't make any mistakes. But a lot of times, I wrote it up here, a lot of times when I finish these problems, just to make my answers clear, I don't typically do it in here or just down below. I did that for convenience this time, but a lot of times I'll write the carbon monoxide concentration equals this. So I can't write that low apparently, but the other concentrations beneath that, and that way I can kind of just make a little box here at the bottom and put it on my answers. And this is a lot of work, and so it can get confusing fast.